Try to say I'm sorry. I really miss the glory. Your wicked ways got me lying down the wicked road. Wake up, I'm still too tired. Dug the grave, put my fire. Your wicked ways got me lying down the wicked road.
Hello, my name is Sydney Bedinsky, and this is my weekly blog. Our introductory topic is teaching reflections in terms of growth as a person for me, how that goes alongside as my growth as a practicing reflective practitioner of education and being a teacher and what that all means for me. The main thing I'd like to talk about is not taking everything so personally, and in that note, not everything is about me. As educators, we are doing something much larger than what just goes beyond our own world. We are affecting and having a domino effect in our community to where we teach and possibly further. So, really, just having that mentality and mindset of I have to take myself out of the equation sometimes and realize the impact on what I have for my students and for my community within the school and as a member of society within my community. In terms of professional practical growth, I definitely would say that my skills I have reflected upon, realizing where some of my weak points are, such as photography. I'm a photographer by trade, but I'm not a videographer by trade. And I took these weekly vlogs as an opportunity to actually learn some skills that I was lacking, something that's going to be necessary as a communications technology teacher, and really bringing that all into the fold and trying to challenge myself and better myself with the programs and technology required for these practices for the curriculum. As educators, we need to look into ourselves, reflect, and see where our own shortcomings are so we can build upon them and become better. The context of our classroom is ever changing with every person every day, and we need to be able to be adjustable and flexible with the needs of our students and where we as teachers may not have considered what needs to be changed in our own pedagogy to better effectively be teachers and educators, which goes very hand in hand with structure and routine. Consistency is key in this. We need to be consistent and reliable. This really helps our classroom environment feel safe. It better understands what is to be expected throughout the day. Sometimes people really like to know exactly what's going to be happening throughout the class, and having them thrown off by that can really change the mental setting that it is you need to learn for some people. So what I like to do in part of my structure and routines is I like to address everybody and welcome them into my classroom by their preferred name when they arrive. It makes them feel safe, it makes them feel valued, and it ultimately just shows that connection. I took the time to learn your name, and I'm taking the time to get to know you as an individual. I really love when my students walk in and I greet them by their name, and I like seeing their faces light up, the smiles that come with it, and just seeing how much it's already affected the LTO I am in right now, and seeing how these students have really started to create a bond with me because in the short time I've been with them, I've gotten to know them, their names, and some of their likes and interests, and better tuning that to what I can relate to the curriculum to make it more engaging for them. And that also goes into our classroom climate. I firmly believe that the teacher is the one who sets the tone. Students can feel the energy that they put out as an educator for their classroom. If you are negative, the teachers that are teaching with that mindset are going to make the classroom environment feel so much less welcoming and safe. Students are going to be more reluctant to participate in a class. I know that when I was a student, there were classes that you could tell the teacher wasn't in it. They didn't want to teach there. So why would I want to participate and be a part of a classroom where the teacher doesn't even want to be a part of it? It's really having that passion, that energy, and that welcoming mindset that really helps get a student into the program of what we're trying to get, the key concepts that we're trying to get out for them. In terms of rules, I always say ask for help when you need it, problem solve individually when you can, or ask a peer for help if I am busy, and do the best you can to actually try and problem solve, critically think on your own. There's only one of me. Often we are put in situations where we have 30 plus students. And when you think about how we only have 75 minutes of class time, some students are going to need more than 2 minutes, and I might not have that to give to them. It's a balancing act where you have to kind of keep active tabs on everybody and see who needs more help and who's going to benefit from that extra time. We're not trying to give other students a disadvantage. I want to help them all. And that's why I really like doing the daily check-ins. I feel like they help me kind of disperse my time a little bit more efficiently with everybody, give that extra time to the students who require it, and then also just keep tabs on everybody and see where they are in their terms of progress and help them navigate learning curves when they do encounter them. Going back to rules, my spoons, having that 5-minute break. It's a great way to non-verbally communicate with the teacher and the student, hey, I need a break, and not having to make a big deal out of it. It's a non-verbal way. Just put your spoon on your workstation. I will leave you alone for 5 minutes. You can take your break however you need to in terms of reasonableness in the school. And then once the 5 minutes is up, now I can say something to you. This practice helps students understand that taking a break is good for their mental health. It helps negate stress, and ultimately it helps with time management and honesty, because if the students are being accountable to themselves, it's going to help them in the future once they're outside of my classroom to be accountable to the rules and expectations that they set for themselves as an individual. Along that route, I always tell my students, don't ask me to go to the washroom or go fill up your water bottle. Just tell me you're going to do it. It's the same thing as waiting until the bell rings. We do both of these things for child safety, because I'm accountable for you for this 75-minute period of time. If you need to go do something, go do it. Just let me know where you're going to be. So if that anybody needs to know where you are, I can relay that information, and they know that they have been accounted for in their whereabouts, because ultimately what we're trying to do is get them ready for when they are out of school. You're not going to be asking your professor or your boss to go to the washroom. You're going to go do it. You might have to let people know sometimes, hey, I got to go to the washroom. Please give me a minute. It's part of that mindset of getting them ready for outside of secondary school. In regard to how students learn best, everyone is different. Everybody learns differently, right? So that's why having fundamentals like UDL in your teaching is so important. When you try to account and teach for all, you're going to have a more effective pedagogy and overall connection in your classroom, because students feel that you're trying to get to them in the ways that resonate with their learning styles the best. Again, doing those check-ins for me personally has helped exponentially. I really think it's a wonderful, valuable tool. I will always keep it. It is worth the time it takes to do it. And I find it's far more effective to do the check-ins than it is to sit at my desk and have somebody wait to ask me something. The amount of times that I've had students ask me questions when I do my check-ins, opposed to when I say, does anybody have any questions? I'm typically met with cricket noises in regard to nobody saying anything. But then when I do my check-ins in a much more private manner, they feel more safe and comfortable to ask me those questions, because they're not being exposed to their peers that they don't know something, which there's no shame in. And whenever I do help them, I try to remind them that we're learning here. That's the whole point. You're not supposed to know all of this, and that's okay. This is the space to try things out, to maybe not necessarily succeed right away, and learn from it. That's what we're trying to do in school. The whole point is to not get things perfect, because you don't get everything perfect on the right try. It's getting used to that and becoming diversified and learning those critical thinking skills to effectively problem solve on your own. In that regard, I also believe heavily in altering my course material to fit the needs and the wants of the students. This is a current issue that I'm running in with my LTO right now. The structure that was set is very rigid. There's not a lot of room for creativity and choice, in my opinion, for some of the lesson plans. I think that the lessons they have are good. I just think it would be nicer for the students to have the option to choose for some things. And I've already altered some of the lessons that are in there. I've been given permission to do so, and the students are happy with it. We have an assignment where they get to choose the theme, they get to put their own creativity and their own spin on it, and they're very excited about it. They were asking me if they could get started on it before March break. For the students that were caught up, I said, absolutely, get started if you want. We're going to officially start this when we get back from March break. And that's when we as a class collectively are going to start the project, and they get to actually take something home with them. That's what's part of the magic of being in Comtech. You get to add your own personality, your own interest, the things that make it engaging and exciting for you. That's the best part of Comtech. You really get to just add your own little spin to everything. And that's why I fell in love with it, because I had my own unique perspective that I liked sharing with the world. I liked being able to tell people, this is me, this is what I like. It's a form of communication, which is why communication's technology, but it's also a form of expressive freedom, which is something we're so lucky here to have in Canada. And we have the wonderful privilege of being able to alter our course material so they are more engaging for the students. And I think that's just absolutely fantastic. We're living in a time and a day and age where we have more access to technology. It's becoming more prevalent in our world, and getting ahead of that and understanding the privilege that comes with these platforms and using it to the best of our abilities to both put causes, reasoning, and interest all combined into something that matters to the individual and to those that are viewing it as the viewer. I really can't think of anything more beautiful than what the tech department has to offer. We take creative, amazing ideas and we turn them into something tangible. Tell me something that's cooler than that. As you know, it is March break, so we are changing up the set a little bit here. I only have access to one camera at the moment and no mic recording, so we're doing our best here. Hopefully this video ends up being to the level of quality that I have been working for. I will, in the future, try to keep raising that bar for myself, to keep myself challenged and surprise myself with what I can do, as I have been with these videos. Everybody, I hope you've been having an amazing March break. This is Sydney Bedinsky. See you later.